My name is Craig Jones, and this is my informative speech. The forests of the United States, specifically the Northwest regions, are currently being decimated by an extreme overpopulation of the mountain pine beetle. Mountain pine beetles, also known as bark beetles, have thrived and shaped the forests of North America for thousands of years, from Canada to Mexico. They're not new, though their destructive nature, when overpopulated, is now just starting to become a topic of discussion within the environmental community. Since the recorded history, these beetles have lived peacefully in relatively small numbers, killing a tree now and then, and in fact it's been normal throughout the ages for these beetle populations to boom for short periods of time. Wiping out large swaths of forest, that's been normal. However, these effects were typically reserved to a single region and not widespread across an entire continent, or the entire Northwest region as we're observing now. In terms of the scale of the problem currently facing Northwestern Canadian forests, unprecedented would definitely be the word. Since 1996, more than 70 million acres of healthy forest from Mexico all the way through British Columbia have suffered sudden die-offs. Among those tree species targeted are the ponderosa pine, limber pine, all varieties of spruce and fir trees, and many others. Some say that by the time the British Columbia region, the crisis there has subsided, an estimated 75% of all of their mature pines will have perished, and that's well over 1 billion meters of cubic lumber, if calculated for the current market. So while the loss of our aesthetic Washington forests is a cost in itself, the local economies reliant on our local lumber they're the ones that pay the real cost in this crisis. With certain mills in British Columbia and Washington timber mill towns facing logging, decreasing growth of up to 40% in the past 15 years as a result of this beetle crisis. And that's not to mention the real and observed danger posed to these communities by a much higher proliferation of falling trees in highly wooded areas. The rates of deaths for trees falling on cars and things of that nature is much higher during these times. There are 17 native species of bark beetles currently known to the RMMD, and while periodic outbreaks of different species have occurred throughout known environmental history, none have proven nearly as effective and destructive as the most recent crisis. As far as the root cause of this outbreak goes, many experts look to the ever-increasing threat of global warming as the culprit. Throughout the pine beetle's own history, the frigid temperatures and harsh northwest winters would typically kill beetle larvae, hibernating beneath trees' outer bark layers, relatively pulling populations before the summer months would come around. However, average winter temperatures in the northwest, and especially the Rocky Mountains, have been observably higher in the past 10 to 15 years, and the low precipitation brought on by these long periods of warming has left a lot of trees weak and brittle, and the risk of these trees face is a lot higher when a high population of pine beetles will occur. They're a lot weaker and more susceptible to die with a population of beetles moving in at that time. In addition to this warming, humans have actually had a part in repelling forest fires in the past 2 centuries for obvious reasons, which essentially creates a smorgasbord of healthy and fully grown trees for beetles to occupy and eat. According to Alan Carroll, an insect ecologist and an expert on the topic, who's been studying these beetles since the 1980s, only 17% of British Columbia's lodgepole pine forests were ripe for occupation about 100 years ago, but by the mid-1990s that number had risen to almost 60%, and in the current year that number is even more alarmingly high. So overall, when we observe the immediate impacts of global warming and human intervention in our forests, the mountain pine beetle as a species essentially benefits from all of these impacts. Because of an outbreak of this volume has never really been recorded, the impacts of the population spreading and how fast they are able to take over a certain region is relatively unclear to even the foremost experts, but affected regions in the United States and Canada are all leading their own respective mountain pine beetle programs, exploring any available options and preventing the problem from further spreading throughout each nation. Because an outbreak, while the Northwest is certainly the focal point of this crisis, certainly facing American forests, that's not to say that certain other states aren't also feeling the heat. Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, Utah have all seen certain sectors of their local forests impacted by the incursion of this mountain pine beetle. And to say And to say that if left unchecked, the population could overtake and eventually impact all of the country isn't necessarily far-fetched, see many experts. Will the beetle move across the country? Asks Carroll, the foremost expert on the topic. He answers his own question, yes, and his colleagues say, if Carroll is meeting with your local officials, it's a good sign that your local forest is pretty ruined. So what options do we have? Is there any possible course of action? Because the task itself is enormous, most areas' approach to mitigation of the effects is focused on moving hazard trees and hazard fuels tied to protection of life and property. Essentially, the main priority is to clear trees that are near to humans' property or things that directly impact humans. That's because funding is low. Considering the low attention that the issue is receiving, the best solution and the only hope that these park rangers have is protecting these hazard trees with a substance known as Capagol, or naphtol methyl carbonate, which is essentially a highly used insecticide. While the spraying is proven effective, it's required yearly and is only effective if applied deep within the front of the tree, which drastically reduces the lifespan of the tree, as you can expect. The chemicals obviously had adverse effects on the environment, and the use of this chemical has been banned outright near any sort of waterway or wetland of any sort in most states, including our own. So, that being said, there has to be a better option than this, and perhaps with more funding and more attention to this really dire topic, we can arrive at that sort of new option. But many experts claim that there's simply no effective way of controlling such population explosion when it comes to insects, and that this is simply another consequence that we're facing as a result of letting our carbon emissions ultimately get out of control and leaving global warming unchecked. So the question we have to ask ourselves is this really our last option, or are there some steps that we can take?